Kayla and Josh Hungerford were flying to their destination in the Caribbean. It was their honeymoon. Josh thought he was the luckiest guy in the world. He'd always been a quiet type of person who did what anyone told him to do. He knew Kayla was the prettiest girl in the world and that he was lucky to have married her. Kayla was thinking about how she was going to control him. She knew even in high school that she was a dominant person and that she wasn't going to change. The plane landed and the shuttle to their honeymoon cabin was waiting for them. They were on their way. In the cabin, they kissed some and decided it was time to get something to eat. They went to eat. That night, when it was time for bed, he asked Kayla which suitcase his pajamas were in. She told him nightwear was in the blue suitcase. He looked and didn't see his pajamas. He asked her again. She came and got out a pink nightgown for him to wear. He said he couldn't wear that and she said he would wear it. He slowly started to put it on. She told him to hold it and handed him a pair of pink panties with a lace waistband and ruffles around the leg holes. She told him to give her the boxers he had on. He slowly removed his boxers and gasped when he saw her throw them into the wastebasket. He slowly put the panties on and the nightgown. Kayla was all smiles when she looked at him. He slept well and woke up after Kayla did. He asked where his clothes were for the day. Kayla told him they were in the red suitcase. He opened it and all he saw were dresses. He asked again, saying he didn't see his clothes. Kayla came over and took out a bra and told him to put it on. He said he couldn't wear that. Kayla said that he could and would wear it. He asked why she was making him wear those clothes. Your sister told me over a year ago that you were getting into her clothes. She knew you were wearing them. At the wedding she told me that you were in her clothes at least twice, the week before our wedding, and in your mother's at least once. So wearing a dress isn't new to you. Now wait a minute, I have another wedding present for you. She produced a set of breast forms and glued them to his chest. Then she handed him the bra. He put it on and she noticed he was pretty good at hooking it. She then handed him a pair of pantyhose which he put on like an expert. When she handed him the lacy slip, he protested that he didn't want to wear those clothes. She told him she had a picture of him in one of his sister's dresses. He couldn't believe it. She got the picture and showed it to him. He wondered when that was taken, and without further objection he put the slip on. Then she handed him a pink and white check dress with all the lace on it. He very slowly put it on. Then it was a pair of pink heels with a 2-inch heel. She told him he shouldn't have any trouble walking in those. He watched as she put on a man's shirt and western jeans. Then she put on her favorite cowboy boots. With her boy-cut hair she looked just like a boy. He was getting worried because he had never been out of the house in a dress. She had him sit so she could make up his face. When she was done she told him he was never to go out without makeup on. He asked why he should wear makeup. Because it will give people something to look at and distract them from seeing you as a man in a dress. Every little addition helps. Today we are going shopping for you and your new wardrobe. We are just going to do that here, right? No, I believe it will be after we get back too, and continue for some time. You must like to wear dresses or you wouldn't have been into your sister's and mother's clothes so often. Now let's go get some breakfast and do some shopping. After breakfast they headed for the marketplace. There was everything for sale there. The first booth had jewelry where she picked out a necklace and bracelet for him to wear. She hooked the necklace on him and had him put on the bracelet. The next booth had tie-dyed skirts for $5 each. She picked out 2 very colorful ones for him. 2 booths down she saw some blouses that she knew he just wanted to wear. She got him 3 all with lots of ruffles or lace or both. Then she saw a beauty parlor that had a sign saying walk-ins welcome. She took him in there, and with his long hair it was easy for the stylist to give him a feminine hairdo. By the time he was done it was lunchtime. They ate at an open-air place that served the best cheeseburgers. This afternoon I want you to do some shopping and to pick out what you want to wear. I am positive that you can find some dresses that appeal to you. I shouldn't have to decide everything. You mean you want me to pick out dresses? You want me to buy my own women's clothes? You aren't sending me to work in a dress, are you? I can't see why not. You area cook in a restaurant. No customers will see you, so you can wear what you want. I want to wear slacks. Not a problem, we can find you some women's slacks to wear for work. You will pick out the slacks you want, and I fully expect you to pick feminine colors. They continued to walk around the marketplace. In a booth that sold purses and wallets, they got him 3 different colored purses and a feminine wallet. Down the line there was a booth that sold women's slacks. Kayla told him to pick out some slacks for work. He picked out pink, purple, light green, red, and turquoise pairs of slacks. Kayla noticed that they all zipped up the side and had no pockets. She approved. There was one more booth that caught their eye. It had dresses very cheap. They picked out 3 dresses that Kayla told him would look grand on him. They were going to head back to their cabin when Kayla spotted one more booth to visit. It sold women's shoes. There they got a pair of black flats and 3 pair of heels for him to wear. They had bought a lot and paid under $50 for everything. Back in the cabin they wondered how they were going to get everything home. Kayla remembered seeing a booth that sold suitcases. They decided to visit the marketplace again tomorrow. Kayla saw how well he had handled himself. She knew she could control him. She had him change into one of the new dresses. Josh knew he wasn't the most masculine of men. He did love to wear dresses, but he didn't want to wear them to work. Wearing dresses here wasn't a problem, because no one knew him here. Kayla took some time and showed him how to put on his makeup. When she was done, he was pretty proficient at it. Finally, Kayla said it was time to go for supper. He grabbed his purse and they left. He wondered why she was dressed as a boy and he was dressed as a girl. At supper he asked, "Why are you dressed as a boy and I am dressed as a girl?" "It is simple, we are dressed the way we prefer. You prefer dresses and I prefer jeans and a shirt. I used to take my brother's clothes and wear them all the time, but nobody thinks a girl in men's clothes is weird. It's accepted. As for you wearing dresses, I will tell you what to wear. I know you have always been very pliable and have done anything us girls ever asked you to do. I expect you to continue acting that way. Now, tell me, what girl's name do you like?" "I don't know. I always thought Ashley Adams was pretty and had a pretty name, but so did Tanya Holcomb. It is between Ashley and Tanya then. I think you look more like a Tanya. How does Tanya sound for your new name?" "I guess it is all right. That is just for while we are here, right?" "No, it's your new name. Don't worry, I won't tell many people your new name." He was starting to worry about how far this was going to go. He wondered if Kayla had this all planned for quite a while. It sure looked like she'd had it all planned out. Meanwhile, Kayla thought about how she'd been a dominant person in school and that now she loved being in control. She wished she could be more feminine, but realized that even now Josh was more feminine than she was. They finished eating and walked along the evening surf. Kayla shared some kisses with Tanya. She kept calling him Tanya and he kept wondering if that was such a good idea. In a way he was happy, but at the same time he was worried about how things were going. He decided to see where things went. That night Kayla gave him a yellow baby doll pajama set to wear. It had blue lace trim and little blue bows on it. He liked how it felt on him. The next morning Kayla gave him a Western outfit to wear. The blouse was white with little pink flowers and had pink fringe decorating it. The skirt matched the blouse. Then she gave him a pair of pink and white cowgirl boots to wear. He felt silly in this outfit but didn't say anything. When she produced a pink cowgirl hat for him to wear, he protested. She told him it was all part of the outfit and that he should wear it. He put the hat on. They walked to the marketplace and Kayla noticed he was walking like a woman, with his rear swaying. In the marketplace they found 3 more dresses for him and a blouse/skirt combination. They bought a trunk that could be shipped home. Back at the cabin Kayla packed the trunk. She put a lot of their purchases in it plus the dirty clothes. She put their address on the label and it was all set to go. They took the trunk to the shipping office. It was on its way. Then they took another walk through the marketplace. They stopped to eat at the open-air restaurant. "Tanya, you surprise me. You are taking to wearing dresses so well. I am proud of you. Here is okay because no one knows me, but back at home I want to wear my men's clothes out in public. I don't want to be humiliated. We'll see about that. You may have to give it a try. I haven't really decided yet, but I am leaning toward you wearing dresses full-time." "Why would you want me to wear dresses full-time?" "There are a couple of reasons. First, I know you like to wear dresses, and second, I don't care for dresses and I want to be in control of things. I can feel more in control if I have you wear dresses. You knew I was demanding when you married me, didn't you?" "I guess I did, but not that demanding." "You have to compromise." "I am compromising whether you know it or not. I am not making you wear a corset or anything uncomfortable. Isn't everything I've had you wear comfortable to wear?" "Yes, it is comfortable, but I still think I should be able to wear men's clothes when we get home. I will love you no matter what you wear, so why can't you let me wear what I want to?" "You don't get it. I want to be in control, and to be in control I have to make the decisions. Can't you go along with that?" "Well, seeing that I love you so much, I guess I can let you make the decisions. I don't want to get hurt. I promise that I will never try to hurt you. I love you too much to do that. I love you." Tomorrow they would be heading home. They went swimming in the surf and laughed a lot. When they were done swimming they were hungry and it was supper time. They went to a supper club that was recommended to them. The food was delicious. They were going to catch a flight mid-morning home. That night he wore a soft green nightgown with ruffles on it. He liked how it felt when he walked. The next morning Kayla told him to do his makeup. He was half asleep and went to start it. He got it done, and when he went out Kayla had a white blouse and a straight black skirt for him to wear. He protested that he would be wearing it when they landed at home. She told him everyone in an airport has a lot on their minds and that they wouldn't notice him. He knew she was right, but he still didn't want to wear it. After some time she got him to wear the blouse and skirt. They left for the airport. At the airport everything went smoothly. They were on their flight and on their way home. Tanya wondered what was going to happen when they landed at home. The plane landed and they debarked. They were walking to the luggage area when they heard voices they recognized. It was his mother and sister. His mother gave him a hug and said, "You look just wonderful. So pretty." "Thank you, Mom." His sister hugged him and said, "I knew Kayla was going to get you in dresses. It's about time you let us see you in a dress. I knew for a long time you were into mine. I have a present for you. I cleaned out my closet and here are some dresses I won't wear anymore and some other things I don't need. She handed him 2 big garbage bags of stuff. Their luggage came and they were leaving. His mom had the van and they loaded it full. They were on the way to their house. At home they got everything in and set it all on the floor in the living room. They sat on the couch to rest a bit. They sat silently for about 10 minutes, then Kayla took Tanya's chin in her hand and turned him so she could kiss him. It was time to start putting things away. Tanya said he wanted to change clothes. Kayla asked what he was going to wear and he said a shirt and jeans. She told him to leave his dress on. He didn't know why, but he did as she said. When he started to put the things away his sister had given him, he was surprised to see she had given him her lavender dress with the sequins on it. He always thought she looked so nice in it. Then he saw the black mini dress with the pleated skirt. He'd always loved that dress. He found 2 purses and some perfume in the first bag also. In the second bag he found more dresses and wondered if she had gotten a whole new wardrobe. He also found a box of tampons with a note taped to it. It read, "If you really want to wear dresses, then you should use these once a month." He was shocked that she would do something like that. Kayla saw the note and laughed. Then she said, "As long as you have them, you might as well use them. I will let you know when I have my period and you can use them at the same time. You can have them. I don't want them. I don't need them. If I tell you to use them, you will use them. They were not meant for me. They were meant for you." He didn't like what he was hearing. He shuddered at the thought of wearing a tampon. When he finished putting everything away, he noticed that all of his men's clothes were gone. He asked Kayla where they could have gone, and she told him she'd had his mother and sister take everything out of there so he wouldn't be tempted to wear them. He told her she'd gone too far and she said she didn't think so. Kayla made them supper and they had a good chat. He said he didn't know what to expect at work tomorrow. She told him if they gave him too much trouble she might let him wear his men's clothes to work. He felt better hearing that. When they went into the bedroom to go to bed, Kayla laid out his pink slacks and a pink lacy blouse for him to wear to work tomorrow. She reminded him that he had to do his makeup in the morning. The next morning he was up and already early. He made a pot of coffee and when Kayla smelled it she got up. She thanked him for making the coffee. She told him he looked just darling and he blushed. She said she wondered how much back work there was for her to do. He said there's no back work being a cook in a large restaurant and laughed. They left for work at the same time. He in his car and she in hers. He didn't want to go to work but knew he had to. He arrived at work and hesitated going in. Finally he went in. The shift boss saw him right away and told him he looked sweet. He asked if he still had a job and the shift boss said, "Of course, you have a job. Get your apron on and get to work." He went to work and the other man, who was also a cook, asked him why the get-up. He told him it was his wife's idea. The other cook nodded his head like he understood. The day went fast and at quitting time the shift boss from the next shift told him he looked beautiful. He thanked him and left. He couldn't believe that they acted like they expected it. At home he told Kayla all about his day. When he said they acted like they expected it, she told him she'd talked to them before the wedding and told them he probably would be coming to work in a dress or women's slacks and a blouse. She said they were very nice and accepting of the whole idea. He didn't know what to say. Karen Bright came over to visit and when she saw him she said, "Kayla said she was going to get you in dresses and I see she did. I didn't think it was possible but you proved me wrong. You do look lovely. I would rather be wearing my men's clothes, but they are all gone. Kayla arranged for them to be picked up while we were on our honeymoon. I know Kayla can be manipulative and that she plans things out ahead of time. I just never thought it would be possible to get a man into a dress and then to keep wearing them. How long have you worn dresses now? Since the first day of our honeymoon. It isn't so bad, but I would rather be wearing something else. Kayla came into the room and Karen's and his conversation ended. He listened as they related experiences. Kayla kept telling Karen about Tanya. He was tired of hearing about Tanya. He went to take a bath. At bedtime they made love. Kayla was on top and she got him to agree to wear a dress to work tomorrow. He didn't really want to, but he knew he would. The next morning he wore one of his favorite dresses. It was a red knit dress with little teddy bears on it. He loved how that dress felt on him. When he arrived at work, the shift boss told him 3 waitresses had called in with the flu. Then he told Tanya he just had an inspiration. He said he couldn't get any off-duty waitresses, but he knew he could get an old-duty cook. He told Tanya that today he was going to be a waitress. He told him to go into the women's locker room and get a waitress uniform on. Tanya did as he was told and in a scared manner walked out into the restaurant. One of the 2 waitresses working told him the area he was to service. He started taking orders. It was going smoothly until he saw Butch Farrer there. He knew Butch from school. Butch had been on the football and wrestling teams. Butch was a bully of sorts. He went to take their order and Butch recognized him. Butch called him a sissy fag and grabbed his arm. It hurt and Tanya let out a cry. The shift boss saw what was happening and headed right over there. He asked Butch to leave. Butch argued with him and the shift boss threatened to call the police. Butch left, but Tanya was shaking. The shift boss calmed him down and told him he was doing an excellent job. He went back to taking orders. At the end of the shift his tip jar was full. They counted it and he had gotten $75 in tips. 25 went to the cooks and he got 50. The shift boss told him he was going to schedule him as a waitress from now on. He told him to wear the uniform home and to grab another one from the locker room. In the locker room he saw Sylvia, who was one of the waitresses he worked with. She said, "You really did a good job today. You should tell them you want to be a waitress. Shift boss already told me he was going to schedule me as a waitress from now on. I don't know if that is such a good idea." "Sure it is. I think you should be a waitress. You sure made the tips today. That tells you something, and it's that you were meant to be a waitress. Enjoy it, I do." He grabbed his clothes and a spare uniform and left. On the way home he wondered how he kept getting into these situations. He was tired when he got home, so he laid down for a nap. Kayla got home and saw he was sleeping deep. She let him sleep. She called him when supper was ready. He got up and still felt tired. It must have been the different job he'd done today, he thought. At supper he related how his day went. Kayla was upset over his experience with that thug. He said the shift boss had handled it. She was still upset that he'd had to go through something like that. He told her that he was going to be a waitress from now on. He told her about the tips he'd gotten. She congratulated him on getting so much in tips. She asked him if he wanted to go shopping after supper. He said that sounded good to him. They were at a leading department store in town and looking at dresses. He saw Jimmy J.J. Jackson and his girlfriend shopping not too far away. Jimmy looked at him, then gave him a look of recognition and came over to him. "I always thought you were a bit of a sissy." Now you are proving it. You are a sad, pathetic excuse for a man. You should be ashamed of yourself." Kayla heard the whole thing and saw the tears in his eyes. Her heart went out to him. She told him to follow her. They went to the men's section where they got 3 pair of men's pants and 4 plaid shirts that would fit him as he was. Then it was underwear and socks, followed by 2 pair of shoes. At home, Kayla told him that he could wear his men's clothes starting tomorrow. She said he looked like he was hurt more by JJ's comments than by Butch grabbing him. The next morning he was a happy man. He whistled as he made a pot of coffee. He was wearing the new jeans and a green plaid shirt. He didn't mind that his hair was still very feminine. He had removed all the makeup before he went to bed. When he got to work, the shift boss told him he might as well cook today. They were busy all day. He was happy to be wearing jeans and a shirt. At home, he was the dutiful husband. He did all the things a husband was supposed to do. He was in his glory. 3 days later, he thought about how he had worn dresses. In a way, he missed it. It worked on his mind. He thought it hadn't been bad at all. 5 days later at supper he said, "Tomorrow I am going to wear a dress. Because I want to, not because you want me to. I will wear what I want to wear, when I want to wear any clothes, pants, or dresses. Do you understand what I am saying?" "Yes, dear, I do. You may wear what you want. I am glad you are going back to dresses. You look so cute in them. I love you." He had already told the shift boss he was going to come into waitress, and the shift boss said that was fine with him. The first day he was surprised to hear people were asking to be seated in his area. One man offered him a job as a receptionist at his office. Some others asked him for a date. He told them that would be soliciting and was illegal. He got lots of nice tips. Things kept going well until 4 days later. A husky man asked him for a date. He gave his standard answer. The man was insistent. He told him he couldn't go out with customers. The man said he would see about that. That night when he was done at 5 and was leaving by the back door, the husky man grabbed his arm and steered him to his car. He set him in the passenger seat and told him to stay there. The man got in and started to drive. He told the man he would have to call home, that he wouldn't be home on time. He called on his cell phone. "Hello, I am in a black Ford heading down Main Street to go for supper with someone. The first 3 letters are PHP. You know who to call. Goodbye." They stopped at an Italian restaurant and the husky man took him inside. He told him to order something for supper. He ordered and asked why he was being kidnapped. The husky man said so it wouldn't be solicitation. He said he really thought she was pretty and he liked pretty girls. 2 policemen entered and headed right for them. One policeman said, "Kenny, you know you aren't supposed to force people to go with you. Now we have to arrest you again. Why do you have to keep doing this? I just like pretty girls. You have to ask then and have them say they will go with you. We have told you that before. What is this, the 3rd or 4th time you have done this? Stand up so I can put the cuffs on you." He stood up and was cuffed. The other policeman asked Tanya where she had to go. She told him she had to get her car at the restaurant. He said he would drive her there. In the squad car, he told her he recognized her from the restaurant. He said she was an excellent waitress. He also said he knew Kenny wouldn't hurt her, but he was of a slow mind and the judge has always taken pity on him. He said this time Kenny would get prison time for sure. Last time he got 6 months in jail. Tanya got home and Kayla wanted to know what had happened. He told her everything. She was shocked to hear about it. She told him he was too pretty in his dresses and that he should wear his men's clothes. He told her about the job offer to be a receptionist. He said that would be a safer job. She said she didn't care what he did but that he needed something safer to work at. The next day, the man who had offered him the receptionist job was in again. Tony asked if the job was still open. The man said it was. He said their regular receptionist quit last week and that his wife was filling in and she was a no receptionist. Tanya said she could start Monday and the man said that would be great. He gave her a card with the company name and address and his name. It was Stanley Burns and it said he was president and CEO. Tanya gave her notice and was told she would always be welcome to come back. The shift boss told her she was the best waitress he had ever seen and that he had seen a lot of them. Monday came soon enough and Tanya arrived at her new job. Sheila Burns showed her the ropes. By noon she had it all down. Sheila told her she knew she would do a great job and left. Stanley came and told her he was taking her to lunch. They went to a different restaurant and had lunch. Stanley told her to let him know if she needed anything. She assured him she would let him know. It was an enjoyable job for her. She got to wear nice clothes and it was easier than waitressing. She greeted visitors and told them to wait for the person they were there to see. She felt she had the world by the ass now. Tanya now liked going shopping with Kayla. They became closer and closer to each other. Tanya had a job she liked and it seemed like they were living in paradise. Tanya had worked her new job for 5 weeks when the accident happened. She was crossing the street after eating lunch. A car didn't stop for a red light and hit her. She bounced onto the hood and struck her head on the windshield. The ambulance took the unconscious person to the hospital. At the hospital, they checked her purse and found Kayla's work number. They called and she said she would be right there. Kayla looked at the sleeping form of Tanya and started to cry. The doctor came and told her Kayla had a severe concussion. He said he didn't know what she would remember or have any idea when she would wake up. She was moved from the ER to a room on the 3rd floor. Monitors were placed on her and Kayla was told they would be watched at the nurse's station. Kayla slept in a chair in the room that night. In the morning she went to the cafeteria to get some breakfast. She didn't want to be away from Tanya too long. She quickly ate and returned to the room. Tanya made some mumbling noises but nothing that could be distinguished. The nurse came in to check on her and said the noises meant she would be waking up soon. Kayla watched for 2 more hours before she saw Tanya move a little bit. Tanya slept for 20 minutes more before opening her eyes. Where am I? You are in the hospital. You were hit by a car yesterday noon. I don't remember that. Are you sure? I am positive that you were hit by a car. Do you remember your name? Yes, it's Tanya. Do you remember your other name? What other name? My name is Tanya. Does Josh ring a bell? Who is Josh? Now, Tanya, you just have to rest and get better. I will be here for you. Do you remember who I am? Yes, you're Kayla. Good, that's a great start. Now get some rest. Kayla talked to the doctor and told him his name was really Josh but his feminine name was Tanya. She said he only remembers his feminine name. The doctor said that could be temporary or it could be permanent. Time will tell. For days later she was released from the hospital. Her physical wounds had healed enough for her to go home. They set up appointments for her to see a psychologist who was the expert on memory loss. After the third visit with the psychologist, he told Kayla it was his opinion that the memory loss would never come back for Josh. He was Tanya completely now. That was all he knew. He told Kayla to make the best of it. He said she should give him what he wants and not to make him uncomfortable about not being Josh anymore. She assured him that she would do all in her power to help Tanya be the girl she thinks she is. At home, Kayla talked about being best friends forever. Tanya liked that and had a mysterious smile on her face. Time marched on and soon it was their first wedding anniversary. Kayla didn't think an elaborate celebration was in order, but they did go out to eat. As they were eating, Kayla said, "You do know that all girls are not born with that thing hanging down between their legs. Would you like to get it removed so you would be more of a girl?" "Yes, that sounds like a great idea. When can I get it done?" Kayla said she would make all the arrangements. Kayla asked what Josh would think of this and Tanya said she didn't know. Kayla got things moving and Tanya had to go see the plastic surgeon who would do the surgery. The surgeon saw she was ready anytime and set the surgery up for a month down the road. The month went quickly and Tanya was awaiting surgery in the hospital. Mentally, she was already a woman. The surgery went smoothly, and when Tanya woke up fully, Kayla was waiting for her. Kayla told her they did a breast implant also so she could get rid of those breast forms. The doctor came in and said everything went classically well. He told her to enjoy womanhood to the fullest. Tanya thanked him for everything he had done for her. Kayla asked Tanya if there was anything she could do for her. "Yes, you can get rid of Josh's clothes now. He won't be back anymore." "How much do you know about Josh?" Josh was a regular boy in elementary school. He played with the boys and had fun. Then in junior high, sports became the big thing and Josh didn't make any teams. He tried out for them but wasn't good enough to play. He became a loner. Then he started reading ahead in his textbooks and became a good student. In high school, he had no friends at all. He didn't associate with any boys and the girls were all too much for him. He was afraid to ask any girl out. "After high school, you asked me to marry you. I was exuberant over the idea. I knew I wasn't the perfect husband and that you weren't being satisfied in bed. Then I knew you liked Tanya better than Josh. It was too hard trying to be two completely different people. So I put Josh to sleep and kept Tanya. Tanya isn't afraid of anyone and has fun that Josh would never have. I tried to wake Josh twice and the first time he said to have fun as Tanya. The second time he never woke up. So, I am Tanya now and forever. I am sorry you lost your husband. When did you realize you were both Josh and Tanya after the accident?" "About the third day. I wanted to remain Tanya and forget about Josh, so I put him to sleep in my mind. The doctors all thought that all I remembered was Tanya and that set everything in motion. I hope you aren't mad about this." "No, not at all. I can see where you are coming from and I don't blame you. I put you in dresses and now you are in dresses because you want to be. I am happy for you. I now have a best girlfriend and I have never had a best girlfriend before. So, we both came out ahead. I love you, Tanya. I love you, Kayla." So, dear reader, I will leave the rest to you. Will Kayla and Tanya live as lesbian lovers? Will Kayla find someone else to marry? Will Mr. Right come along for Tanya? What will their futures bring?